Okay, so some of you are going to say, Catherine, a boss is not a gang leader. He doesn't have the power of life or death over you. All right, think about it, guys. When we have such underemployment among youth, we have so few really good jobs. We have hyperinflation. We have a kind of hopelessness about actually establishing any kind of independent middle class asset owning life for young people who are skilled or unskilled. Your job keeps you and your loved ones alive because we also don't have portable health insurance in America. So we have a question, there is a question in power of life or death over every wage worker, unless you're a NEPO baby, in which this doesn't count for you. So just like go off, fuck right off. I don't care about you. Don't pretend to be a Marxist. Don't pretend. You've got that LARPy beard. I don't care. If you've got daddy paying your rent, the boss literally has no power of life or death over you. This doesn't count for you. Please don't talk. The rest of us who have had to go out there and sell our labor for a living know that the fear of losing one's job is the fear of losing one's life. And that is the power of the gang leader over his crew. So what we have within this collapsing state of liberalism, this collapsing economy, especially for young workers, is this increased power of the employer over the employees. Now, here's something I'm going to say about lips, right? They don't acknowledge this. They just think like, oh, my kids went to college. They all got really good jobs. They're coding. They're in law school. They're in medical school. Everything's fine. Well, everything is not fine for 60% of Americans. It came out 2 weeks ago in the Lumina study that 60% of Americans are having trouble maintaining the minimum standard of life for a dignified life. That's 60% of Americans. That's, in hard numbers, probably 180 million people in supposedly the most advanced, industrialized, and wealthiest society in the world. So you have this idea that you have all these people just living from paycheck to paycheck, from one illness away from bankruptcy, right? And they are, of course, completely terrified of deviating from what the boss will want from them because they need to make their living. Now, we've also heard about quiet quitting, which is this kind of, showing up to work but not really showing up to work. And I would say the basis of this is that the wages that one is being paid do not actually provide for a good life. So what do? You try to protect yourself by not investing in your job, by trying to keep something of your dignity or something of your life away from the workplace. In the meantime, your boss is telling you to go get up and walk around the room, stay healthy, what's your wellness, check in on your mental health. There's more and more invasive employer-based surveillance of workers, and worker autonomy is actually being chipped away every day by these kinds of invasive forms of being. So when you see, but we love to watch gangster films, and one of my favorite series was actually not Breaking Bad, but the Italian series Gomorrah. And Gomorrah really allegorizes the prevalence of the 'ndrangheta, the Camorra in Neapolitan economy. I'll go into the localizing problems later, but the television series focuses on a young man named Chiru, who is an orphan, whose parents have probably been killed by the gang, and he's raised by one of the big gang leaders, the mobsters in the Neapolitan Camorra. And I feel like this kind of orphaning of young people today is a kind of allegorical orphaning of the young. And we deliver them to institutions or to lawless institutions like finance capital, like private equity, and unprotected. You have to love the person who saved you from being completely destitute, being completely parentless. So this kind of gang mobster leader is the father figure of the lawlessness of our state of gangster capitalism, and his name is Donald Trump.